I'm just laughing. I gotta do a better job grooming these questions. All live, bro. You know.
I was like, what is this? All right.
take a stab at it if you want to.
Okay.
Because I know what it says.
All right. Okay. I gotta bring it closer, y'all, because I'm blind. That's the first thing. It says. It's a summation. That's the first thing. I can tell. There's no question marks in here, but it's a question. So it says $600 over 10K inflow outflow proposed change compared to the $600 Cash App change for businesses and how to prepare for both. And then you want me to read the parentheses?
I don't know. Let me see what it says. Oh no, you cannot read that.
Okay, don't.
Yeah, you cannot read that one.
All right.
Then it's iPhone got to that, right?
Okay, yeah. Do you want me to click that?
No, I got that up.
That's what's up. All right.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool.
All right, yeah.
So did y'all get that? You want me to read it again? Okay. Corey's going to interpret what that means.
Yeah. I got to do it. Don't worry, bro. I got you next episode. Next episode, anyways.
Look, my fitness questions, you can just read them. Look at
the funny thing is, a lot of the recent fitness questions, they're my questions. So I'm showing the capability of what I can do. That shows I care more about making sure that you know, for your questions, but like, you know, they're mine. So you know what I mean? Like,
all right. So I'll help clean up. So what I'll do next time is I'll help prep more for the finance questions since I'm asking them. Right?
You're good. I should have cleaned this up. This one was confusing though. When I was like, it's okay. Who cares?
Because I probably would have tried to clean this up and just put what question mark.
Yeah. Come in there, question mark. Leave a comment on it. All right, boom. So like I said, so either 28 or 27. I think 28 because we talked about the billionaire stuff on there. But try to give you guys more like what's going on in the world right now from a financial, economic, you know, political standpoint, what we see going on. So this question, a lot of you are seeing the $600 issue going on with the Cash App, and as far as, you know, do we have to track it, you know, all this type of stuff. And so the one issue with that is that now it's a third issue because if we did this earlier, it'd be two. But the first issue is that there's another $600 situation from a Cash App standpoint. The $600 Cash App or PayPal is called third-party services, and I'll get into the actual technical definitions in a little bit. But those are with third-party services. And what you're hearing now for, I think it's infrastructure bill, because they passed infrastructure. This should be in the budget. Is that that is for your personal account, right? You just, you know, go out to eat or something like that, and somebody, you know, just pays and you give them money. However, another $600, or the first one, should I say, not another one, $600 bill was stuffed in the last stimulus check that we got earlier this year. That is for businesses. That has already been passed, right? That particular law, that bill, and it'll be into effect, you know, January 1st, 2022. So that's already done. If you got a business and it used to be over $20,000 or 200 transactions, that's when these third-party services were required by law. Okay, we're getting real legal on this one. Required by law to send you like a 1099 or whatever document they had to send you. Now that has been decreased to straight up $600. Okay, now this is for businesses. Y'all be complaining about the billionaires not paying their taxes. I really don't care. Y'all need. I mean, you know, you better be getting your obviously pay the least amount of, or the most amount of taxes you have to pay. But you know, that's the business one. That's done, and that's what most people aren't worrying about. Okay, but just so you I'm
worried about it.
Yeah, the business one. But also, obviously, the reason it's an issue is because they're talking about the other $600 one, where it's just your personal one. So I can't verify on Venmo. I'm pretty sure they have it because they're under PayPal. But Cash App obviously has a business account and a personal one. So obviously there are a lot of you who do.
Small interjection. Venmo is under PayPal?
PayPal owns Venmo, yeah.
So why would a third-party servicing company own another third-party servicing company?
You said what?
I said, why does the third-party service, like, you know, payment service company own
why
another
did Facebook buy Instagram?
Got you. Okay, well.
I told you we don't get to economics.
Yeah, it's what I do. So why would I buy somebody else that does what I do? But I mean, I guess I get it because they do what I do, and maybe they do it well. So I just want to buy them.
Exactly, and what you eliminate a competitor out the market. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, like I said, you know, but then you know, you understand that. Like, oh, that was a dumb question.
Yeah, I mean,
you already have an example in your face. Same reason. Why did Facebook buy Instagram? Because.
But you think, well, I don't know. We're not gonna talk about how I feel about it. No, I was gonna say you figured they would buy them and then
Venmo is a different type. It's the same thing, like
Right.
just like Facebook, Instagram, both social media, but it's a different feel. And that's another thing. You want to get
Yeah,
economics?
we good. Continue. Sorry, side tangent. That was.
The question is, why did consumers choose to use Venmo over PayPal? When it's
Right.
well, why do people use Cash App? Like, why, there are multiple, right? Yeah. That's why I say we could talk, all day about it. But yeah, I mean, that's not really a tangent. I mean, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all these third-party services, you can have a personal option usually and a business option. And most of you probably just have a personal set up, right? And so you got your business money come in. And like I said, this is America. Any money you make for work is expected to be put on your taxes. Okay, and that's why they're reasoning for lowering it from 20,000 or 200 transactions to 600, so they can get that essentially $20,000 difference. It's only $19,400 of tax money. But obviously, if you have your side hustle / business money coming in with inside of your personal account, you buy pizza, somebody give you $10 for their half. It's, well, how do I keep track of that? Well, this is why you have to pay a CPA. But to add clarity, okay, for what was actually to what this actually is. So this is section 9,674 of the bill that was passed earlier this year with the stimulus check. Okay, this is called modification of exceptions for reporting of third-party network transactions. See that, real legal here. That's what Cash App is, Venmo, etc. And when Jordan was talking about, can I read what's in the parentheses? Nope, because I am not going to say, this is not for my clients, but I'm not going to say on what you can do on the air, because I ain't got time to figure out if I'm going to get caught up on what I'm going to say. So if you want to know how you can get around the tracking of your $600 from third-party network transactions, well, that's just Cash App and PayPal, etc. That's not like your bank. Hint. Okay, so in general, I'm not gonna say because I was like,
this information is for entertainment
entertainment
purposes only.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
But again, Bank of America is not a third-party network transaction. You deposit money in there, do transfers. That's not what this is for. That limit is $10,000 cash. Okay? Now, when you deposit a check or do a transfer, that is not considered cash. Okay? All right, so in general, I'm just stating what the rules are. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay, so it's part A of this section. So in general, it says section 6050W part E. Remember I talked about the IRS, our tax code has like 10,000 almost subsections. Well, 6050WE got amended here. The Internal Revenue Code of 1986.
Good Lord.
Jesus. What's the first third-party network transaction? Anyways, 1986. Anyways. All right, so what was amended, it says de minimis, which just means something that is too small or irrelevant in law purposes. For third-party settlement organizations, third-party settlement organizations shall not be required to report any information under subsection A with okay, now y'all can look this up if you want to, but with respect to third-party network transactions of any participating payee, if the amount of which would otherwise be reported under subsection A, part 2, with respect to such transactions does not exceed $600. That's the actual law. A lot of you like, what the hell?
What does that mean, Cory?
Right. I got 2 more parts. Then part B, okay? Clarification that reporting is not required on transactions which are not for goods or services. So transactions which are not for goods and services. All right, so that's essentially you working. Okay, that's the current law. Like I said, was passed with the last stimulus check earlier this year. That will be in effect on January 1st, 2022. Okay, so that means if it's for your personal stuff, you do not have to put it on your taxes, which is, what everybody's complaining about with this new one, which is essentially covering that loophole for this one. Okay, that's 2 different things. Then part C says that this will take effect, December 31st, anything after December 31st, 2021, which is January 1st, 2022. Now, like I said, section 6050WE, right? And that's what it says. We're saying in respect to part A of this one. Jesus, come on, bro. Like, who knows this stuff? Okay? So part A is each payment settlement entity shall make a return for each calendar year set forth. Okay, and then part 2, the gross amount of the reportable payment transactions with respect to each such participating payee. Such returns shall be made at such time and in such form and manner as the Secretary may require by regulations. That's got to be the Secretary of Treasury, because remember what did I say about the IRS? It is a subset of the Treasury. Okay, so it means the boss of the IRS would be the Secretary of Treasury. Okay, remember these. I mean, you don't want to do the business stuff. You got to. So these things you got to know. So essentially, this is saying.
This is why y'all just pay Cory money.
Let's be clear. This is just like one thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So the law that has already been passed. So for those of you though who have a business account, okay, but you're taking personal, somebody give you $10 for their pizza on your business account. That's going to be incorporated now into your $600 limit. Now, obviously, if things, get crossed over, you can notate it, but you, right, ignorance of the law is an excuse, whatever that phrase is, right? You have to notate that. So they have to be told that this $10 or $20 for whatever wasn't for something for business purposes under your business account. Remember, that's not their job. That's on you, in all honesty. Okay, that's what's already passed. So now, the $600 one, like I said, that's for personal accounts. That's what trying to stuff into the $3.5 trillion budget, I believe. Okay, and also I was talking about how far do they push it back? They push it back to December for our budget. So that's got to be coming up in the next couple of weeks, unless they push it back again. Okay, but so that $600 one, right? This is why when stuff isn't passed, it's like, okay, I can't really give y'all information. They have now changed that from $600, change meaning a proposal. This has not been passed yet, to be very clear. They have changed it from $600, just like that CashApp issue, which has already been passed from a business standpoint, to $10,000 of inflow or outflow inside of your bank account. Okay? Now, for those of y'all, and by the way, inflow, outflow, that's total, not a net. Okay, so for those of you who, what is it? It's a SAR, Suspicious Activity Report, or CTR, current, anyways, banking stuff. The $10,000 cash limit, okay? $10,000 cash limit, where if it's $10,000 in a penny, the bank has to notify the IRS. That's inflow or outgo, or combined. So if you do a $5,000 deposit and $5,000 withdrawal and a penny for one of those, they have to, it's not one transaction, it's total for the day. So that's how this inflow and outflow is going to work as well. But it's for the whole year going in and out of your bank account, not like a month or a week or a day, for an entire year. So it means if you make over $10,000, which means you're not in poverty, they're trying to make it so your bank has to notify them, the IRS. Now, for those of you who know, like what really goes on, they already know. Let's be clear, they already know. Okay, I mean, remember the Fed prints the money, it's their money, then they send it to the banks. So they already know. I mean, whose internet is this? The government's. But from a transparency standpoint, they're looking at changing it to $10,000 instead. This is worse. This is way worse. Now, how do you get around this? I know how to get around the $600 issue. You can't do this one because they talking about tracking every. Yeah. You cannot have a bank account. That's the only way to get around this one. But so, if that $10,000 change occurs, not the $600 one, good luck.
I'm assuming that's all transfers.
So right? All of us, everything. They said, I mean, and past shit, but it's supposed to be everything, inflow and outflow. Now, if it's not, hopefully it's not, if it's transfer, that's just too much. Wire transfer is nothing to do, and transfer side bank account. But it's supposed to be, ACH, which is your direct deposit, and then obviously cash as well, and checks. Transfers would be redundant counting.
I do. So, example, right? So my wife and I manage our finances together, but we have two separate bank accounts, and I do ACH transfers for from my account to her account.
That would be redundant.
Right.
Right, because like you got $500 and they track yours, but if you just send it to her, that's not $1,000. That's still $500. As far as when you're adding up the total, right? It's supposed to be a 1-to-1 match. It's not $500 new dollars.
Gotcha.
Yeah, which goes back to if you put it in a bank account, how you get around the $600 one. Transfers don't get tracked because they've already, if they needed to track, they've already would have tracked it. That's why there's no limits on transfers. They have like a $99,000 cap.
Right.
But outside, that's why wires have no limit, all that type of stuff. Because when you're transferring a transfer, for those who don't know, a transfer does not exist. A transfer is the grandfather or father of cryptocurrency. A transfer is a withdrawal and then a deposit. Those are only two things that exist. Just like multiplication and division, they don't exist. It's just quicker ways to do addition and subtraction. When you do a transfer or a wire, you're withdrawing money from your account. That's what you'll see, which is called, I think it's probably different, but a from account and then a to account. So what account are we withdrawing from and what account are we depositing to? That's what transfers and wires are. They just obviously computers, automation.
So it's not the base unit, basically. A transfer is a withdrawal and a deposit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the same. That's what the computer does.
Okay.
Just you remember we in outside we had to do that multiplication thing, and like it literally is just addition. Like you see how that the calculator is literally not multiplying at all. It's just doing addition. Like
It's a set number of times.
Yeah, set number of times. Yeah, and that's what transfers are. So that $10,000. If that comes into play, I have no help as of now. I'm not a CPA. I will have to wait till they drop it. Also, too, with all this stuff, even the one that's already been passed for the business one, if you have a business right now, like I said, they changed it to $600. So that's everyone. Also, too, by the way, this is obviously not the tax to the rich. They say they're trying to $600 is everyone, y'all. $10,000 is everyone. They're not. Yeah. All right, come on now. We talked about this in episode 29 or 28 about what they actually be doing and who it impacts. But
who's picking these numbers? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Like, the people we voted in. The people we voted in.
$10,000. That's the number. That's the one for the 1%. What the hell?
Nah, yeah. It's it'll be interesting. But remember. Even though it will be in effect next year, it's not to your next tax situation. Okay, so you have time to get this stuff figured out. But most of you are probably making that's $50 a month is $600 in a year. Most of you are probably going to get hit by that. So have your stuff in order now. Start budgeting. You should already. First two things: lawyer and CPA, right, for your business people. If you're trying to scale it, but start preparing for it now. Start working with a CPA now on how you can actually handle that. Because when it comes into effect, that's probably gonna be it. Now, let me be clear as well, because I was saying change the verbiage. Now you're gonna owe taxes. You just gotta put it on there. It's two different things. Okay, so obviously you have deductions, credits. It's not saying that you're gonna owe, right? Obviously there's a net, all the crap that you do with taxes from that standpoint. Yep. And then the personal one. So if the personal one comes into, let's be clear, they do this $600 in the personal one. Everybody get up out of there. But if they do, I stand by what I said about the billionaires and the tax on capital unrealized gains. Yeah. This one gets passed too. $600 is one, it's not no money at all for a year. Some people are like a day or something. Like, no, a year total. That's $50 a month, y'all. 50 times.
That's everybody.
What's 50 times 12?
The answer is 600.
Yeah, 600, 720 is 60.
Nope.
You tried it.
My bad.
Yeah. Anyways, though, but
that's why Cory's good at math and I'm not.
No, but what's it called? Yeah, if they do the personal one, let's say they change it from the $10,000 outflow, because that $10,000 inflow outflow is for the personal, I guess, adjustment they decide to make. If they decide to, I guess readjust is a bad word, but change it, revert it to the $600 one. That's everyone. That's everyone. Like we'll all be dealing with the issue. There's
At least you won't be alone.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if they do the inflow outflow one, I'll just give it to you now. Disclaimer: don't sue me. Hold on. FBI, open up! I've told all my clients this, not because it's for my clients, but because it's not on the internet forever. So this, I'll help y'all out there because I really don't care. This is how you get around the $600 issue. Get around. Whoop. This is the law. Okay, let me. This is the law. Like I said, this is for third-party services for the $600 for businesses. That whole spiel I read for the actual law that was passed. That's for third-party services. So this does not mean banks. Okay, banks are different than a third-party network transaction. So what does that mean? Instead of having someone CashApp you, let's say $100, right? You could just have them write you a check or give you cash and you deposit into your bank account. Now, most people don't keep cash on them, right? Or checks. This is why we use these, internet age. But as I've said before, you need to get some checks. I've already said this before. My compound interest is coming. I've been told y'all to get some checks just from a defense standpoint, right? As far as building out your financial plan. But if you have checks, the check's already tracked. That's what that MICR line is for at the very bottom. Okay, so they're already tracking that. So I'm not worried about that. But also too, They just put check in the bank account. Now the issue with checks is what? Do you know what the real reason why people use third party services now versus the checks?
Convenience.
Okay, like but actually like a technical reason.
No.
Obviously convenience. So the issue with checks is what? You have to wait for the check to clear. And if a check doesn't clear or there's a bounce check, guess what happens? Your account gets penalized for that. If they'll have a bounce check fee, and if it gets drawn negative, you go deal with a negative fee, and then anything that comes along with that. However, with these third-party services, when that money hits your Cash App or a PayPal or Venmo account, you can use that money right away.
Right.
They're already verifying it on their end, and if it doesn't come through, then you wouldn't get the money. So you do lose that convenience, as you said, where the verification of the funds is occurring faster. Now checks clear 2 to 3 days. Like I said, the issue is y'all broke, y'all ain't got no money. But however, most of you can wait the 2 to 3 days, and most people are going to clear your checks within a day. So be there the next day, which you kind of got to wait for anyway for Cash App. But then again, what do? Y'all get the card so you can use the money right away. Like I said, why do you have a Cash App card? And it's because you don't got no.
I've already said this before.
Now we get into banking and stuff. Now I'm telling you what I know. But yeah, you can get checks written to you, written the way they would. I'm definitely not gonna say that part. They can write checks to you. Okay. I was gonna tell you what they can put in the memo line, but no. Now, however, again, this is not so that you avoid the taxes. This is so that you avoid the third-party network transaction tracking. Two different things here. You're still supposed to put this on your taxes, which I'm gonna tell you to do. Okay, IRS. All right, I'm still gonna tell you to put this on your taxes. But as far as having to keep up whether or not the pizza refund money is in here and all this type of stuff, just run it through your business account, or you have a sub club account that is designated for your business and business expenses, and then you're good to go. You will bypass. This is what CPAs do. This is why I talk about tax fraud. If you want to get around this, do not create a third-party network transaction. Create a bank transaction. Deal with those bank rules.
So for review, guys, okay, because I know y'all like, oh man, I can just move money between my bank accounts using Zelle. What is Zelle, guys?
Zelle the best one. They put that money straight
into your account, right? But that's why I was like, people are like, oh no, I don't need checks. I can just do it. No, Zelle is a third party. Just because he didn't mention it before doesn't mean it is not a third party network transaction. Yeah. Cash, checks.
Yes.
Okay.
Into a bank.
Yes.
An actual bank. Okay. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Navy Federal Credit Union, Allied Bank, all the banks out there, all the small ones, TD Bank, anybody. That is not part of this amendment to the tax code, because it's not a third party network transaction. And so now you're probably saying, well, Cory, what are the bank what are the bank rules that I'm now going to have to deal with? Because obviously, loopholes. They're going to protect themselves. For cash, cash is a $10,000 and a penny one that I already said. Now, there is something called an SR, which is a Suspicious Activity Report, and a CTR, Currency Transaction Report. They have a dollar amount attached to them, but it can be varied per the financial institution. The $10,000 and a penny limit, that's all financial institutions. That they got to do that. Usually something pops up on the system to where they can't even complete your transaction, where it says, hey, 10,000 and a penny, fill this out.
Yeah.
The SAR and Currency Transaction Report, that's obviously for when bad guys, well, I know it's got to be 10,000 a penny. So they do a whole bunch of roughly 2,000 to 7,000, they stay in that lower range underneath the threshold. But you see a lot of cash transactions for that, or even transfer transactions as far as ACH is going in and out of the account. Now for checks, shout out to Leonardo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can. That's a real movie. That's the guy who's doing all the check fraud. Thankfully to him, all that stuff is tracked. All that stuff is tracked now. So you don't got to worry about from a check standpoint. Remember, a check is different from cash. Just like a third-party network transaction or service is different from an actual bank. Okay, the checks, they're not worried about the checks. Checks have any limit. They can, I can't remember the technical term, but they can, if the check bounces or they don't think it's good, they can push they can remove the funds or whatever, because all checks are subject to verification. Unlike cash, where the teller verified that once they accept it, it's good to go.
Right.
Because usually they put it in the drawer of the vault and they can't verify which bills you gave them. But for checks, they got the person, the payee, the maker, all that type of stuff. So yeah, that would be and by the way, that's what people used to do. For those y'all, what I'm saying, I'm telling you to go back to the olden days. That's what they call about checkbook balancing. That's what that was. So yeah, checks would be the easiest way to not have to deal with third-party network transactions because you wouldn't be creating one.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have to deal with the fact that these checks need to clear. And I don't know what you want me to say. Also, too, the people who write those checks, remember, they got to keep that money in the account. I said this before. Jesus.
I've already said this before.
I've said this on the banking episode. Remember, personal checks are good for 6 months. So that person who pays you has to keep that money in the. You have 6. You get to just do what you want with it for 179 days. And so if you're writing checks, paying
Don't be
people,
that person. That's disrespectful.
if you're right, like for my barber, I pay my barber on CashApp now. My dad still writes him a check. You know, that's what it, it's new. Obviously,
Right.
doing my barber my whole life. So yeah, that's what you're dealing with. That IRS, leave me alone.
That is your haircuts in check.
Still,
Really?
still.
You know, no cash, no, it's a check.
Nah, yeah,
Is that?
yeah.
Yeah, he's smooth.
Yes,
I
my
feel like
dad.
your dad wears a fedora.
No.
No.
I wish my dad. my dad. You think he get dressed in the dark because he'll come out and be like, Dad, that don't match as good as you think it match. Nah, my dad, he got the transition glass. Like, my dad be looking like Fox McCloud's dad, which is Fox. Nerds, but his dad had the shades on.
Right.
My dad got the transition glasses, and he be looking like Fox. He look like Fox McCloud. When my dad, obviously we all have to help him. My mom makes sure he look right. Shout out to my dad, obviously. Word to my dad.
Hey.
But yep, that's it. Run that back. You have to reach out to me. I'm not, I took my risk with that. I could, if y'all saying, well, Cory, how do I handle? All right, look, I'm not putting everything on the internet because I ain't got time to go to jail for y'all. Okay.
FBI, open up!
All right, that's it. Locked and loaded. Wrap up in this section.
I did a lot less talking in that section, a lot more listening because I'm learning this information just this is live me taking it in, right? So I had to take that in. That was good stuff. Wrap up for the fitness section.